I don't wanna say anything, 'cause if I do, I might say the wrong words.
What is going on, bro? Welcome to the video and welcome back to Boston, Massachusetts. This right here, this is where it all started, man. It was all a dream. I do have to say, coming up in Boston, it's not the best place to be a YouTuber. Got a lot of loud noises. I'm surprised there's no one just beeping, holding on the horn right now, holding on the honker at me right now. In the wintertime, it gets dark at like 3 p.m., very little natural light to work with. And when you're out walking about, filming and vlogging, you got helicopters overhead, a lot of nasty looks. Like, people in Boston, I love them, but they don't really love me. People in Boston, they're not the most friendly people. The first stop has got to be the home of the most consistent 7 out of 10 breakfast sandwich in the whole world.
Dunkin' Donuts.
You're not gonna give me a Boston accent?
How do you do a Boston accent with that? Dunkin' Donuts?
The go-to order, a couple sides of hash browns, and then their like signature bacon sandwich, nice and smushed, nice and authentic. Damn, that might be like a 7.5 today. So I grew up about 20 minutes south of the city, or with Boston traffic, like 2.5 hours some days. And I moved into the city when I came to school here at Boston University. This is very much like a city campus. It's just all along Comm Ave here. And I've mentioned this in some of my older videos, but for me, high school and college were like the darker times of my life. I just had very low self-confidence. You know, I felt very awkward at parties and hangouts. I only had my close group of friends. I was a virgin until I was 21, and I was super envious of all, my friends who were living it up at college. And for the longest time, I thought this was like a curse that I could never change. I was never gonna be confident in myself. I was always gonna feel like a loser, until one day I made the decision that this was actually not a weakness. This is actually my biggest strength. And I know that doesn't make sense, but if you think about the cool, popular kids in your high school or college, like growing up, everything was easy for them. They got the girl, they were popular, everybody liked them, everything was given to them. And seriously, take a minute to maybe look them up on Facebook or Instagram. Almost always they peak in school, and then after that they end up being like the towny alcoholic with no career, no future, because if you think about it, they never had to develop that grit or that mental toughness. They never had to learn to work for things that were hard, and it fucks them later on. So if you're like me and you have this darkness in your past, or you're going through it now where you feel like a failure with girls, a social outcast, like you just don't fit in, that is a lot of pent-up frustration and pain inside of you, right? Well, that's something that you can tap into, and that can be like an unlimited source of motivation and energy. Because, for the longest time, I was so in pain because I was a failure with girls, but at the same time, I didn't want to start trying to get better with girls because I was afraid of being rejected. And then I realized, I'm gonna be in agony either way. Why don't I fucking just go ahead and try? And that's what gave me the balls, I guess, just to endure hundreds of rejections, embarrassing rejections around Boston, not knowing what I was doing. Like, I was gonna be in pain either way. Why not do it? Why not use it for good? And after a couple years of just painfully pursuing this goal, I got to the point where I was getting laid a few times a week. I felt confident with girls, but the amazing thing was that I realized, I can apply this same just devilish energy to pursue any goal that might not seem possible. That didn't seem possible. That's how I got started on YouTube, man. I've done 2 videos a week every single week the last 4 years, and at first it was embarrassing. I've gone through dark times where the videos don't get as many views, where I get a lot of hate comments, but I'm used to the pain anyway. That's not gonna make me give up. And this is the same choice that I'm making when I'm building my businesses of Edge and the Beastly app. There's gonna be shitty times where things go wrong. There's gonna be painful times. It might not go well, it might not work out, but I'm used to the pain. So if you have this darkness inside of you, man, it's a fucking superpower. You gotta use it.
So
Gains.
Bruh.
So our OG gym we used to go to here apparently just closed. Like the rent got too high. So we're at a different location y'all have not seen before unless you watched like a video of mine before I even was really uploading videos. Me and the homie Dave, I didn't even know you know this. Me and the homie Dave used to come here well before the YouTube days. So today we hit a full body push day inside the Beastly app. Yesterday was full body pull, and I think I tweaked my lower back doing RDLs. It's a little painful. You know what else is painful? When you're stuck in debt and that credit card statement comes into the mail. It's no bueno, and that's why I decided to partner with Upstart to be the sponsor of today's video. Check it out. Upstart is basically a fast and easy way to get a personal loan to pay off your debt all online. It doesn't matter if you're struggling with credit card debt or some other high interest debt. The idea is that if you get a loan from somewhere like Upstart that has a lower interest rate than your debt, that's going to save you a lot of money over time. And if you're struggling with multiple sources of debt, it's going to allow you to consolidate it into one easy monthly payment. Unlike other lenders, Upstart considers your income and current employment to find you a smarter rate for your loan. With a 5-minute online rate check, you can see your rate up front for loans between $1,000 to $50,000, and you can receive funds as fast as 1 business day after accepting your loan. So if you're ready to find out how Upstart can help you lower your monthly payments today, just go to upstart.com/howtobeast or click that first link in description. That is upstart.com/howtobeast. Just make sure you use my link so that they know who sent you. Right now we are in Alston, Brighton. It's Boston, but it's not right downtown. And these apartments right here, I'm gonna show you in a second. These are the first apartments that I ever rented on my own. It was back in, like 2014 or something. It was a 1,200 square foot 1-bedroom, like a very big 1-bedroom. I paid like $1,000 a month, 122. It was this one right here. And this is actually where How to Beast began. And people always ask me, how do you come up with How to Beast? How do you come up with How to Beast? I was on the toilet taking a dump, searching on GoDaddy, and yes, that's pretty much it. HowToBeast.com was available. And when I was living here, about halfway through my lease, my best friend growing up moved in with me, and it was awesome. And there's a very special bond that comes with that. But as I started to like branch out into wanting to get better with girls, and I started trying to build How to Beast, which was a blog at the time, it became a little tough at times with like my group of friends who I came up with. None of them were doing similar things, and sometimes we'd be hanging out and I'd be all excited about, oh, I got this new idea for How to Beast, it's this, and they'd just be like, cool man, you want to play a game NBA 2K? I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna whoop your ass though. But the truth is that when you're trying to achieve a difficult outcome, it helps to have other people who are working towards that same thing, so that you can whine and complain about the different obstacles you're facing, and know other people are dealing with the same shit. And it got to a point where I felt very alone, and I didn't have the support that I needed for the things I was working towards. And that's when I made the decision to craft a new social circle. At the time, I was reading Rules of the Game by Neil Strauss. This was like the heyday of pickup artists. Things have come a long way since then. And in one of the chapters, it said you can go to pickupartistforum.com or something and find a wingman in your area. And I went on there. Sounds cringy. And a couple nights later, I met up with a couple dudes in Boston. One of them got really drunk, didn't talk to him again. The other one was also a newbie at talking to girls, and we became fast friends. And over the next couple years, we went out almost every weekend together, went through countless rejections side by side, and it made that path so much easier. And the funny thing is, this is the same guy who introduced me to the homie Dave, who then me and him, we also did a lot of talking to girls together, but we also started going through a lot of business trials and tribulations. And having that support group, I don't know that it's possible to achieve a difficult goal without that. You got to do the same thing. You got to make a conscious effort to link up with other motivated dudes working towards the same goals as you. It's probably not gonna happen through pickupartist.com in 2021, but you have Instagram now, and it's pretty easy to find other dudes in your area doing similar things. Shoot them a DM, or just be aware. I've met a lot of cool dudes at the gym, and the main thing is you have to take responsibility to grab the contact info and to kind of set up the first date, even if it's just grabbing drinks, because for whatever reason, dating girls is just easier and it's expected. With guys, sometimes you even have to make a little bit more effort. You have to be the one who takes the lead, but it's worth it, man. It could change your life. throw a little parkour in there for the OGs. So you remember what I used to do? I used to throw a GoPro on my head and just walk around downtown and jump over a bunch of shit.
I was like so embarrassed. I'm like, I don't know who this is.
By the way, this fresh ass outfit I've been rocking the whole video. These are the tech pants right here. Lifestyle tee, perfect fit. Little logo on the back there. Dropping August 12th next Thursday for Edge. Stay tuned. Man, this is weird. This brings back like a lot of memories. The street we're about to walk onto here, Queensberry Street. I can tell you now that we don't live there anymore. Julie would have probably tried to chop my head off if
Okay, we had a bad experience with a stalker, so.
This is where I moved to this apartment, not the first one, second one there. So this was after I lived a couple years over in the other spot. Then me and the homie Dave went to Spain for like 6 months or 9 months. And at that point I stopped the software job I was working. I stopped the personal training job. So when I came back, this was like the first time I was living in the US, just working for myself completely. And a lot of y'all might remember this street right here because January 2017 is when I started the consistent YouTube uploads, and I did about 2 years worth of videos in here. But a tough decision that I finally made when I was living in this area was to make the move away from Boston. You know, I grew up here. Boston will always be home for me, but it's not an ideal place for me to live. I hate the cold. It's cold for like 8 months of the year. Everyone here is kind of like in the education track, and then they're either going to be like a professor, a lawyer, a doctor. It became very hard to relate when I started doing YouTube. No one really understood what I was doing, but every time I was about to pull the trigger and leave, it would be like, oh, but you know, I'm seeing a girl, I'm kind of curious to see where it goes, or my family's close, or you know, my friends are here. Basically any fucking excuse I could find just to kind of stay in a comfortable area where I understood, you know, how the housing was, and I felt like I had a network. I just took every excuse I could. Like, you guys experienced how much, once I got to Austin, a city that really vibes with my lifestyle and my interests, you guys saw how much that allowed me to elevate my YouTube channel, my businesses, my overall lifestyle. Your environment has such an insane impact on everything. And that's why it's so painful to me when I see dudes who just stay in their hometown their whole life. Like, you gotta realize, bro, the worst that could happen is it doesn't work out in the new place you move to, and then you move back to your hometown. That's the same logic I had to tell myself when I quit my software engineering job. Was like, you know, worst case, I can come back and get another software engineering job. But I think that every dude needs to move away from their hometown in their 20s, even if it's just for a year and you go back, man, because otherwise you're leaving so much personal growth on the table. You don't know how you're gonna respond until you do it, and that's why it can be scary. Once you're in that new environment, you know, after the first couple months of discomfort, I just seen so many dudes who just elevate their life, and all of a sudden they're adopting the habits they want to adopt. They're doing what they want to do with their career. They're getting better with girls. It's almost like you can reinvent your identity once you take yourself outside of the environment that you might not even fucking realize it's holding you back. And on a related note, if you're someone who still lives with your parents, like, I understand it can be, you know, financially beneficial, but you need to make it a priority to get the fuck out of there, get your own place, even if it's in a city that's close by, because that can really stunt your growth. And you can really, you know, not even become your own man because you're just a victim of your parents', like, you know, passive aggressive comments and shit like that. And a lot of times the fact that you have that, you know, financial comfort of not really needing to pay for anything, that can prevent you from taking the risks needed to make more money. You know, when the homie Dave moved in with me, it was the first time he was paying rent. And he was scared shitless. He had like no money saved up, and within like 2 or 3 months he like tripled his income just because he had that fire under his belly. I hope y'all enjoyed the Boston vibes, the little trip down memory lane. So much appreciation for all of you, but on today, special appreciation for you guys who remember the Boston era.
If you made it to the end of this video, what are you doing, bro? Give this video, oh, I appreciate you. Give this video a thumbs up.
If you're new to the channel, welcome. Make sure you click subscribe and turn notifications on because I drop 2 new videos every single week and you don't want to miss them. I will talk to all of y'all in the next video. Stay beastly.